All right, welcome back. It's about 24 minutes past the top of the hour. My guests already here talking among themselves. I'm introducing the lady and the gentleman in a bit. But at the back of the State of the Nation address, on our big Q tonight, we are asking you, did the President's State of the Nation address speak to the priority areas? Did it capture your imagination? By responding to your concerns, please continue sending your yes or no answer accompanied by a brief comment to the toll-free number 22151. Also tag us on X at KTN News KE. Use the hashtag KTN Prime at Ken Mijungu. I'll be looking at Facebook also and also on YouTube to see what you're saying there. But lady and gentlemen, karibuni sana. Charles Owino, the last time I spoke to you, you were a former police spokesperson. Now you are the Director General.
No, the last time you spoke to me, I was chairman of Kenya Institute of Mass Communication.
Okay, Kenya's good, but yeah. we referred to you as former police spokesperson.
I'm still former police spokesperson.
But you are now...
It will never end.
You're now the DG, Director General of the National Government Communication Center.
It's called National Communication Center.
National Communication Center, not just national government. You communicate for Kenya.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Charles will be telling us what exactly that office does. Member for Dagoretti South? No. North. John Kiari. North. Beatrice Elachi.
John Kiari.
John Kiari, South? North.
South, North. Beatrice Elachi, my friend, thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you.
The lady among the gentlemen.
Yes.
And the gentleman with a very difficult name, Alenga Torestad. He decided to go German. At least you are not indicting Adani from Germany. Alenga, thank you so much for coming tonight.
Thank you.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming. There's a lot to discuss tonight. First, I'd like your view on Alenga, and I begin with you. Adani is gone. The president canceled the deal, and I guess this is very painful to the president, right? But the question is it an egg on the faces of everyone who's been supporting the Adani projects? Let me begin with you, Alenga.
As obvious as the sun rises from the east and sets in the west, if you concede to certain things that citizens have been speaking to severally without the government heeding, then it means there's a weakness in terms of how everything is coordinated, how choices are made, how decisions are made. And given that this morning the energy minister was in praise of Adani and in defense of the same, and then hours later the president gives the decision that he gave. So it shows you how there is some inconsistency in terms of our decision making as a country.
And you being a governance and policy expert, he didn't praise Adani. He just said it doesn't affect the contract between Ketraco and Adani. I didn't hear praise.
Semantics. If you say that this person has committed crimes in other jurisdictions, yes, we admit, but we don't think it will affect how he will roll out his plans here, then it means you're praising.
Beatrice, egg on the faces of everyone, including your party leader, who said Adani has done a good job. And now the US comes and everything just changes.
Well, first, Ken, let's see where Adani has come from.
Yes.
So Adani comes into this country the first time when the late Kibaki was the president. At that time, he refused to see them. His Excellency, the Prime Minister, being the Prime Minister, agreed to see them. You remember at that time, Modi was...
Vice President?
No. Before he even joined government, he was in Gujarati. He was one of the leaders there.
Okay.
Was he? Yes, he was a leader in his own state at that time. And they were doing very well. The economy was growing. At that time is when Adani was doing Mumbai, Ahmed Midad, because they have like 7 airports.
That they're managing.
They are managing.
Yeah.
And they did them. But then the mistake that happened, it reached a point, Adani now became sort of a subcontract of the Abu Dhabis. And so even the money that was coming to the airport was for the Abu Dhabi. But remember, Abu Dhabi does not need to come to Kenya because, I mean, we are small. They are big. So they use Adani. So Adani became the face. The mistake Kenya did, and not just blaming the president, but the process of how this tender was done.
Yeah.
is what we should condemn.
The process.
The process.
The reason for the
and
outrage.
Then, Adani, at that time, you've grown big. Definitely, I'm sorry to say this on air, and not all Indians are corrupt, but most of them, I'm sorry to say. And so they knew we are also corrupt. So you do things in the very wrong way. And that does not mean now, Baba, when he comes in the other day to say, he was just saying, this is a big corporation. It has the capacity to do the work. Mm-hmm. But he never supported the process that Kenya used to get the tender.
Are you discounting? What is the difference? Draw the line. Supporting.
No. You can, anyone. I mean, how many companies are big and have gone into the same problems? How many, even now, President Trump, look, and there were big companies, but they were questioned even in the US. So it's the same thing. And it's not just Adani. I think there are many companies that we have to be very careful as we pick on them. And it is important for us to do due diligence. Yes,
that
in what we do.
In Section 41 of the PPP Act, right? We'll not go to it, but Charles, your initial reflections on the biggest soundbite of the night, right? The deal has been cancelled. The procuring authorities must go back to the drawing board.
Number one, I would want to state that there is no contradiction between the minister statement and the president's statement.
No, there's no contradiction.
There could only be a contradiction if the minister would have made this statement after the president made his statement. Then it would be a contradiction. The minister came into being after was appointed when Adani processes were on. And as usual in the cabinet, the minister takes common responsibility. What has been agreed on by the cabinet is what he comes out with. So I'm sure as at the time the minister was making his statement in the morning, the position of the cabinet of the state was the same, that Adani process was still on.
Really?
But yes,
really?
That is true. Yeah, as at the time,
it can be. It's as if you're telling me the president's speech was just drafted in the afternoon.
I'm saying
that's what you're telling me.
No.
Yes.
The president can even plan to appoint someone in the morning and decide to appoint a different person in the afternoon, depending on the information that he gets. The president does not work in a vacuum. The president works with so many other people and gets a lot of advice from so many other places. So what I can surely tell you, I know Opio Wandai. Opio Wandai is a humble, honest, and obedient person. He's not a kind of a person that can easily contradict his boss. If he has never contradicted his boss, who nominated him to the cabinet, I don't think he can contradict anybody. Okay. So what is happening is that I cannot say that the minister, the CS, contradicted his boss. The position is that as at the time he made the statement, the common knowledge was that Adani was still on.
Okay.
If this decision was made because of the advice the president got, then so be it. Okay. That is the position.
But Ken, the most important thing as Kenyans is to appreciate that the deal has been cancelled. And so one of the things we have to say is that the president has done the right thing.
Did it have to wait this long, Beatrice? Did it have to take 2 months of outcry for the president to realize this is a bad deal for Kenyans?
Well, I think one of the things we have to accept, and I have said, is that you look at yourselves and look at the process you have gone through. And so you have to read carefully your last clause on how you move out of any contract. Mm-hmm. And that is one thing now we should be asking ourselves. We are hoping we've left the contract and we will not have...
Without much damage to the taxpayers.
To the taxpayers,
okay.
Yeah.
But what you're saying and what the president said is totally different. Not to say you are contradicting, I'll come to you, Alenga. But the fact that the president said that new information from our friends has sufficed, and that's the reason why we are not going ahead with this. And my question is expressed. Did it have to take 2 months? Because essentially what the US has said yesterday in this indictment in New York is what everyone has been talking about and the media has been reporting on.
But you see, as much as the media reported, did you ever tell us that there was a contract in the US that had 1, 2, 3 and a done? No. It is in South Africa. In fact, you are reporting South Africa. So Indeed, that is why it's a global world where you share information.
Okay.
And
But
I think
equally,
one of the things, that's why I'm saying due diligence, is that when you bring in an international company and you hear people saying it has been blacklisted in Australia, where just do your due diligence.
In fact, it went to Parliament, and Alenga, I'd like to bring you here. This went to Parliament.
No,
it didn't go. For example, Kitrako was in Parliament.
Yes, but not the airport.
Airport was in Parliament with Badi, and he defended it, Beatrice. And when he said that there were other expressions of interest, but they never got to the Treasury.
But what was the
No, he came as a
Parliament.
That was Parliament when he CS.
Yes, when he CS.
Of course.
Yes.
I'm saying,
I
as
think
Parliament tabling and giving us these PPPs, it has never happened. That's why they are having all these challenges they are having.
Okay, let me hear Alenga.
I think, Ken, we should just stop taking Kenyans for a ride and assuming everybody outside there is very dumb to understand what is going on. The whole conversation about Adani was in Parliament, and the people were put on the spot, especially even the former Minister of Transport. He was put on the spot. And, yes, and he was questioned about the integrity issues of Adani.
Yeah.
And they all cleared and said, we know him as a good person.
Who?
You know?
The CS or Parliament?
Yes, the CS.
The CS,
it was there broadcasted on TV.
Yeah.
And so when we come back and try to imagine even the president cancelling the Adani deal, he just got that information today. That's taking Kenyans for a ride. Even trying to imagine that the CS for Transport, Opio and I, did not know these issues about Adani, hasn't read about them anywhere, has not heard about them in any other place, is a lie. Okay. They all knew all this,
I don't think...
and for a very long time, this government pushes things they want to push.
Okay.
And also, we cannot assume that the Adani deal is over, as has been said, the way
that's Beatrice's point, and we are going to talk about it. Let me give him a right of response.
The reason is we've had a lot of things that have been pronounced by the president, and they have not been actualized. Okay. Today, we were told.
Are you doubting that the president is not sincere? Because that's what I hear. Are you doubting?
We were told that they have scrapped off the office of the first lady and the second lady. We were told that.
Now, let us go to
Let's get back to that.
Let's get back to that.
My concern is what he's saying.
Yes.
That CS Wandai was not aware of these issues. I've just told you that the good practice of a cabinet is that in a cabinet, when something has been agreed upon, all of you take collective responsibility. Yeah. And even if you disagree, when you get outside there, you must go by what the cabinet has decided. You cannot say Opio has not had these things. What I said was clear, that as at this morning when Opio was making this statement, I am sure that his understanding was that it was still as agreed by the cabinet. And I'm sure, yes, because I've said that I don't think he's a kind of a person who would contradict his boss.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a long time.
No, but let me finish something. Let me finish something. What we are saying is that Kenyans, we must be structured. Even if there's a problem, we must be structured. Sometimes we make so much noise that even nobody would want to listen to you. Nobody is saying that Adani is not a big company. Nobody is saying that Adani has never done work anywhere. It has just come to be proved that they have gotten involved in some corruption issues. Yeah. Not that they don't have capacity to work. Yeah. Not that they have not worked. Dispute. No, the main issue now is they have been involved in corruption. All right.
Yeah. Beatrice, you wanted to speak 30 seconds, so we come back with because you want to speak longer, right?
All I can say is that I have said, and I'll repeat.
Yeah.
We just have to look at the clause of
the exit clause.
We exit.
Clause. All right. In about 20 minutes, we're back with the discussion, but at this point, we take a short break. The Business Desk